I'm happy to have here two people that I'd like to introduce to you. Amy is from Fairtrade, and Amy, can you introduce yourself in a second? And Murtaza is from Pakistan, from Artistic Milliners. Can you both introduce yourself? Ladies first.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Amy Blythe. I am the Director for Brand Partnerships at Fairtrade USA for the Apparel and Home Goods program specifically. Fairtrade USA is a nonprofit. We're based in America, but work around the world. And we support farmers and workers in building mutually beneficial trade relationships and individual and collective empowerment. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Murtaza.
Hi, I'm Murtaza Ahmed, and I'm a managing director at Artistic Milliners. Long short, I make jeans every day. So, yeah.
Okay, and a lot.
And a lot of jeans.
Okay, so we'll start. We have 6 questions for you guys. If you could keep your answers to 2 minutes, that would be great for us. The first question is to Amy. What is the overall size of Fairtrade? How does Denim fit into the overall certified Fairtrade product offering?
Sure. So first, I'd like to start by saying Fairtrade is a movement. We're a global movement. As I mentioned earlier, we are here to promote mutually beneficial trading relationships, collective and individual empowerment for farmers, workers, and fishermen around the world, really building stronger and more resilient supply chains. Fairtrade USA, we're a nonprofit based in the US, work around the world. We've been around since 1998, started in coffee, quickly moved to coffee, tea, sugar, cocoa, chocolate, all the things that you can see in the supermarket and kind of recognize the Fairtrade seal on. And since 1998, we've actually sent back in additional community development funds and premium, which I'll talk a little bit about later, over $500 million, an additional fund for income for workers and farmers around the world. Last year, we supported almost 1 million farmers and workers around the world. So we're really excited about the impact we've had over the last 20 years. Specifically, the Apparel and Home Goods program, which I represent, we've been around since 2010. That's when we started the pilot program, where we really thought about taking the benefits that this fair trade model has had in agriculture and bringing it to a manufactured setting. So since 2010, we've been really scaling up. The program really took off in about 2014. And to date, we serve over 100,000 workers. And in Denim specifically, we have 10 certified factories and several more on the way. So relatively small compared to our larger fair trade footprint. But what I like to say is our brands and our factories that are doing this Denim program are really pioneering what fair trade could look like in this industry.
Thank you. Murtaza, my question for you is Artistic Milliners is the first denim company to be fair trade certified in Pakistan. How does Fairtrade USA fit into Artistic Milliners' responsibility landscape for corporate responsibility? And what does the future hold for Artistic Milliners in terms of the fair trade program? You are a pioneer.
Thank you. So yeah, the FTU USA program, it fits right into our DNA as a company. Back in the 1960s, when we had our first garment factory, there was a 90% women workforce. So we've always had those principles and those values, and now it's exciting during these times that we're able to share those values with our brand partners. The brilliant part about the fair trade program is that it connects it truly connects the consumer and helps them allocate a certain portion of their disposable income to a worker thousands of miles away through their purchase, which is absolutely brilliant and unprecedented. So for us, scaling this up is top priority. We've been lucky enough to work with the brilliant, helpful FTUSA team and our partners like Target in scaling this up. We've gone in a very short time frame, I think around 12 to 14 months, we've scaled it up from 3,500 people to 5,000. And during these times with this pandemic, it's definitely something that in the future is going to be very, very important.
That's great. Thank you. Amy, back to you. Can you explain how Fairtrade certification works? Sounds simple. I'm sure it's not.
Yeah, many people recognize the logo, but not necessarily know exactly what goes into certification of the product. So first, in order for a product to carry the Fairtrade certified logo, the farm, factory, or fishery get certified under what we call our producer standards. And so we have an agriculture standard, we have a manufactured goods standard, and we have a fishery standard. So in the realm we're talking about today, thinking about the factory standard, the factories get certified under the standard. It covers all requirements around health and safety, working conditions, wages, overtime, all the things that you'd see in a standard social compliance program. Just making sure that the factory is providing decent working conditions for the workers. Once the factory gets certified, any buyer that buys from that factory can buy on what we call fair trade terms. And that means that they'll be abiding by our trade standard, another standard that in addition to the cost of the product that they negotiate with their supplier as normal, they pay an additional amount of premium. It goes into a separate bank account at the factory, and the factory workers democratically elect a fair trade committee to represent the workforce and to go through a process to determine the best ways to spend that additional fund for community development projects, individual development projects for the workforce at that factory. So in order for the product to actually carry the seal, there's actually two elements. The first, the factory gets certified, yes, and then the brands buy on fair trade terms, sending back that additional funds. And it's a way to get more money into the hands of the workers and make sure that they are having a positive experience at the workplace, are represented by this fair trade committee, and can use this additional capital to further their livelihoods.
Thank you. I understand that. And how was it to implement fair trade into your factory? Was it difficult? What were the challenges with that, or any?
I mean, it was very interesting. So first things first. I mean, for me, even as a factory owner, it was super hard to first understand how this was truly going to work. I just thought it was just so, it was kind of unbelievable that there would be a retail partner would buy something from us, and then a certain percentage of that FOB goes into an escrow account, and the workers essentially vote for what they need. I mean, so it was just hard to just fathom that all, to be honest. On a mental level, I kept on having meetings with my teams and saying, are you guys sure about this? Are you sure about this? So that was interesting. And it was very interesting to see how the workers and what exactly they chose. And I think if anyone's ever interested in doing this, or once they do, they'll find that you have to really ensure that there's a transparent, independent process around the worker council and how it's elected and how the voting is done. And what we did was, just to make sure that everything was right, we had already been doing need assessments for a long time. So in our company, we've been running the PACE program with Gap, other programs we've been running. So we do regular need assessments of what the workers truly want. And that can vary, by the way, according to time. I'll give you just a small example. Pre the pandemic, when this whole conversation started in the world about COVID-19, the need changed. So just having a transparent process, making sure that everything is done in the right way is a challenge. I think leadership has to be fully involved in this. And then another interesting challenge, and this was something that was beyond my pay grade. We had our chairman.
Pay grade.
So it was, well, by that I mean, it was, I had my father help me out with it, was that these independent escrow accounts, you have to create a trust or an NGO, and different countries have different policies. And I was so surprised to see the amount of government protocols and requirements to register a company and have an escrow account. So that was a good learning experience, much more difficult than I thought it would be. But that's also country specific. So you can have some countries where it can be super easy as well. So yeah, challenging, but interesting.
Super interesting to share. Thank you. Another question for you, Murtaza. There's a plethora of social compliance certifications and standards in the industry. What's the biggest difference between Fairtrade and the others? You've seen them all, I'm sure.
Yeah. So we see too many, and I know that's one of the things you're working on as well.
You want to stop that? That's crazy. But anyway, tell us your experience in the Fairtrade compared to the others.
It's like what Amy was saying. So it's a full compliance check in terms of electrical safeties, infrastructure, social compliance, wages, remuneration, etc. But the main distinction of this system, of this certification, is that it's a trading platform that helps, again, as I said earlier, helps consumers directly make a difference to factory workers. So yeah, it's different in a way that it truly enhances worker well-being by being the channel by which funds can move. So it's different in those terms, but otherwise, in terms of certification process, it's according as per a normal compliance, just to make sure that everything is right in the factory.
Thanks. Amy, last question. So all the people out there are asking, how do I learn more? Where do I find out more information? How do I get involved? Or what's stopping our company from doing this? Tell us about it.
Yeah. Well, I would say first, you can always learn more by going to our website, so fairtradecertified.org. You can always reach out to Artistic Milliners and the folks there. They've been through it. They know what's going on. They can support you in answering any questions. As we talked about earlier, they're pioneers, so we love to have them in the program. You can also reach out to us via email at apparelhome@fairtradeusa.org. Again, apparel home, all one word. And the last thing I would say is, and this is something that we always love to remind folks, is as customers, as consumers, you can shop your values at the supermarket, at the mall, when you're looking for denim, when you're looking for new items for your home. We have furniture you could buy. We have towels at your local coffee shop. And so in the industry, we really want to move this forward, but don't forget that as consumers, look for that label because you can support these programs. In the denim space right now, you can find Fairtrade certified products from a couple major brands like Patagonia, Target, as we talked about, who's supporting this program here at Artistic Milliners, J. Crew, and Madewell. So we are ramping up quickly, and so go look for the denim in those stores.
Awesome. Well, there's a lot of negative stories in our industry during this pandemic, a lot. We could talk about it all day long, but this is a super positive story, and I appreciate both of you coming on and sharing this with us, and I'm sure it inspires everybody who's watching. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.